Welcome to Bruce Hurwitz Presents Meet the Experts. I'm your host, Bruce Hurwitz of Hurwitz Strategic Staffing. You can find us on the web at hsstaffing.com. I hope you will consider us for all your staffing, career counseling, and speech writing needs. I am delighted to be joined today by Jennifer Glass. We will be discussing how to increase leads, revenues for a business. Jennifer is a contributor to Reach Your Greatness and the author of It's the Bottom Line That Matters. Meet the Experts is sponsored by P&K CPAs. P&K is a full-service accounting firm. They provide accounting and consulting services to businesses ranging from startups to small and mid-cap companies to nonprofits as well as high-net-worth individuals. Contact them today for a free consultation at pk-cpas.com or call them at 973-882-8810. They will be happy to be of service. Jennifer, welcome to the show.
Thank you so much, Bruce, for having me on the show today.
It's my pleasure. And I know you're fighting a voice problem, so I appreciate your making the effort.
Thank you.
Take a moment or two and introduce yourself to our viewers.
Absolutely. My name is Jennifer Glass. I'm the CEO of Business Growth Strategies International. We're a coaching company that is all about helping our clients increase their businesses, make them into their million-dollar businesses. I've been coaching clients for the last 3.5, 4 years, but have been working with clients even before that through the payment processing and marketing services that my company originally started with. And it's been an incredible opportunity getting here. I met so many great people, like you mentioned just a moment ago, having the ability to work with ABC Secret Millionaire James Malinchak on the Reach Your Greatness book, really talking with those high profile individuals helped increase my business and push me to the next level. And I love helping other business owners get there also, because as they're growing their business, you start seeing them give more to their community, they hire more people, they donate more to their communities, and I love doing that, and that's really my passion. It's helping our communities get stronger, and I'm thrilled to have the time today to share with your listeners some of the tips and strategies that I use in helping my clients grow their businesses.
Well, thank you for that. Now, the number one email that I receive, definitely more than any other, is from somebody telling me that they can get me leads, that they can get me new clients, and they all come out as being con artists. So how can you judge whether or not, when someone claims they can get you leads, that they can help you increase your revenue, that it's legitimate?
So here's the first thing that I would say. Emails that are promising the world normally turn out to be nothing more than a money suck. 9 out of 10 times, when you're buying something that you get cold called on, it's not going to be something that's going to work out for you. There are things that you can do for your own business right now that don't even cost a lot, or that don't cost anything, that will really make that spigot turn on to bring you the leads and revenues that you need. And when you can't handle it, you close that spigot or you lessen it so that there's not as much coming through the funnel. What I mean by that is, take a look at a website. What's the first thing most websites today have on the site? Call us today, book an appointment, schedule your tour. Why? Why am I going to take the time and click that button unless you're giving me a reason to actually want to do it? Bruce, let me share with you and your listeners, only 1 to 3% of buyers are now buyers. That means 97 to 99% of buyers are maybe never, and sometime down the road. You need to give me a reason to say why I should want to work with you. If you put a compelling headline on your site let's just say it's an accounting firm like P&K, your sponsor, if they put something on their site and say, do you want to save $10,000 a year on your income taxes? Click here to get our top 5 things you can do right now to do that. Now I give you my email address to get that white paper or that article, how I can do that. Now you have me, and now you can market me so that you reach that 8 to 12 time magical frequency number in terms of the amount of touches, so that I can now know I want to work with P&K or any other accounting firm that may offer that. Same thing in staffing. If you offer me a compelling reason why I should say, let me hire Bruce as my recruiter, that's going to make that difference when it comes down to those issues. But so many businesses don't do that. And that's the first mistake that so many business owners make. And nobody who's going to say, I'm going to get you leads and revenue and everything else is going to even be paying attention to that. They're going to be selling you names, and they're going to be hoping that you talk to 100 people a day so that you get through the 97 people that don't want anything to do with you, so that you talk to that 1 to 3 people that want to actually work with you. And that's what they're really doing. They're not getting you anything that you can't do on your own. And then it's about managing how you drive traffic to your site. When you know how to do that and you're watching what you're doing, you can start turning on that spigot anytime you want.
Excellent. One question, you've provided some slides, but I have one more question before we get to that. What's the difference between increasing a lead and increasing revenue? It sounds like client acquisition and client retention.
So the answer is that leads are people that come into your pipeline. Revenue is actual sales. When you're trying to drive growth in your business, and there's a whole formula that we have, you start looking at your total number of leads, and then you look at the percent of conversion. So if you have 1,000 leads and you're closing 25% of those, you have 250 clients. And then you look at what your average sale is and how many times people buy from you and what your margin is and things along those lines. And it ultimately gives you what your overall profit is. If you increase each of those areas 1%, 3%, think what it's going to do for you. It's not just the leads and the revenues, it's everything down the line. And that's how we increase our clients' businesses. If that answers your question.
That answers my question. And now I'm going to go back to the PowerPoint and we'll look at your first slide. So tell us what we're looking at here.
Sure. So I gave you a couple of keys to getting off to a fast start in growing your business. And the first one is you need to be clear on what it is you're offering your clients and how you're messaging them. And the first thing that people need to think about is who their avatars are. And I'm not talking about James Cameron's Blue People. We love that, but you need to think of who your ideal client is and what that representation would be like. So as an example, if I have John and Jane, and they are very different in their businesses. John is selling B2B, and he is focused on what he needs to do to meet payroll next week. And Jane is selling widgets to consumers through the retail channel. And her goal is she wants to sell her business within the next year. If I'm looking at marketing John and Jane, I need to market them very differently because as a business, the two of them don't have the same needs. And so they're not going to be open to the same messaging that's out there. And then there's the customer journey that's there as well. And the customer journey is starting from a point where John may know that he's got a problem with meeting payroll, but he doesn't know how to voice what he's dealing with. So he needs to say, how can I get started here? And then, so he goes to Google or Yahoo or any of the other search engines. He types in ways to grow my numbers in the next week. And he gets a whole bunch of ideas. And then he starts researching it, and it goes all the way from identifying the problem to researching to signing up to get information from businesses, working with a business to ultimately being a brand ambassador. So when you know how to market your clients effectively, when you see the difference in how John and Jane are going to be interacting with you, that's the first key to really starting to get off to a fast start, because so many of us just say, I'm going to throw stuff out there and I'm going to see what sticks. Bottom line, if you just do that and you're blowing money on Facebook, on Google ads and everything, and those are great channels to market, but they're not necessarily the right channels for everyone at the right time. You need to be clear on who you're marketing, have the right message for them so that you can then start moving forward and getting those people to want to work with you. And that's, again, why call us now, schedule an appointment. It's not going to make a difference.
And I just want to make sure everyone is clear. When you say avatar, you really mean prospect.
An ideal representation of your, or a representation of your ideal prospects, yes.
Okay. Your second slide is the thought zone. So talk to us, explain. What's the difference with this avatar and what do you mean by pain points?
Absolutely. So the thought zone, how many messages do you think we're bombarded with on a regular basis? You know, just this morning, as you're driving along to get to your office, right? You're stopping, well, even before you even leave your house. First thing you do, you wake up in the morning. A lot of us turn on the TV or we check our phones. How many messages are we being bombarded with at that moment? And that's as soon as we wake up. Then we get ready, our coffee maker is telling us we have to do X, Y, and Z, and our kids are yelling at us, we need whatever. There's so much going on. The thought zone is we have to get behind that wall that we have up in front of us. Every one of us has a wall because we have so much coming through on a regular basis. There's millions of pieces of information that we're getting on a daily basis. We have to get through that wall. So how do you get into your prospect's mind? How do you break down that wall that is there so that you can actually focus on what it is that you need to do to reach that avatar, to talk to their pain points? Again, when I said John is focused on how does he meet payroll next week, that's his pain point. He's losing sleep because he doesn't know how he's going to meet payroll next week. Where Jane's pain point is she wants to sell her business within the year. She needs to maximize value in the business. She needs to grow her sales. She needs to grow her customer base so that she can get more clients. And that's the thought zone. If you don't get past that wall, your messages are not getting anywhere. They're going to be stuck and they're going to fall flat. But when you can get past that and you can start talking to, listen, Jane, you need to sell your business in the next year. You're right now at a $500,000 a year business and you want to maximize value. You need to try and get to at least $750,000, $1 million this year, so that by the end of the year, you're going to have a much better position in terms of selling your business. John, you're having a problem meeting payroll. You need to get past that so that you can then start focusing on the bigger picture and have more cash flow available and not be worrying about payroll every 2 weeks.
Okay, now, key number 2.
So key number 2 for getting off to a fast start and growing your business is your market dominating position. A lot of us have heard of the unique selling proposition. And if you haven't, it's what separates you from your competition. But your market dominating position is actually an even stronger perspective of what it is that you need to be focusing on in your business. Let's take, for example, a client of mine who is the periodontal disease specialist in Detroit. Now, his unique selling proposition is, I have a 100-mile radius that nobody else is a periodontal disease specialist. That's great as a unique selling proposition. But what if I don't have periodontal disease? What if I don't have gum disease? Why am I going to go out of my way to see him if he's the only one in a 100-mile radius? You need to give me something that's going to actually separate you from your competition, but really make me want to choose you. If I have gum disease, of course I'm going to go to you. I'm going to go out of my way to see you if you're the only one within a 100-mile radius. But then on the flip side, I have an endodontal client who root canals, we all love root canals, right, Bruce?
Don't talk about root canals.
To get. You know,
Talk
you
about
go
root
just
canals.
getting
I will shut you off. It'll be the first time in 8 years I ever threw any guest off.
we hate root canals. It's the worst thing. And they're also ridiculously expensive, right? After insurance, they're typically $400 to $600. A lot of people don't have that money. It's just not laying around in their checking account that it's sitting there for them to get a root canal. And so they end up putting it off. This endodontal client of mine that we worked with, what we did was we said, okay, fine. We know that it's impossible. People hate it. They go out of their ways to avoid it. So what we did as the periodontal disease or the endodontal client is we said, all right, we're going to change the way that we're going to market. Not only are we going to make it affordable because we're going to break it down into easy payments, and we're not using the care credit stuff that's out there because God forbid somebody misses a payment, interest goes back to day one, and good luck when you're close to 30% interest paying that from day one. But what you do though is somebody's normally got at least $600 available balance on their credit card. So we had a special financing program where we authorized the full amount against their credit card. And now what they were able to do is break it into 4 payments of $150 a piece. And what separated me even more, the endodontal client, what separates him even more is now he can say, I'm not even charging you interest on it. I am eating your interest. I'm eating the financing charge. Now you gave me a reason to go to you, to choose you over all the other endodontists. And you also gave me some that separates you from your competition because you're making it easy, you're making it affordable, and you're eating my financing charges for the program. And so that's why I want to choose you. Everybody has that way that they can choose how they want to break down what it is that they're doing in their business and what really separates you. And if you don't know, think about it. What is it that your clients would say separates you from everybody else that makes them want to say, Bruce, I want to keep working with you for the next 10 years, 15 years until you're ready to retire, 20 years, 30 years. If you have that magic idea of what it is that keeps your clients coming back, that becomes your market dominating position, not just unique selling proposition. And then you play up on that because now once you know what it is that you have, now you have that and you've got that rocking you all the time because somebody else is not going to necessarily have the same opportunity as you.
My problem with the comparison between your two clients is that the endodontist, if that's the correct word, if I got it right,
Yes.
has a monopoly. I'm sorry, the periodontist has the monopoly. He's
Right,
the
that's his
only one
USP.
in a 100-mile radius. So he doesn't really have a unique selling proposition. If
He
you've got
does on the continuum. There's a continuum that says, here's the basic, right? What your company does, your company's strength. And then you have deterring barriers and significant barriers and a definitive barrier, which is your USP. Definitive is if you have a patent, right? If you have a patent, nobody else can do exactly what it is that you do. You have protected intellectual property. Your company's strength, though, is this is what separates us from other people. Like for me, I am part of the Small Business Development Center's program. And when it comes down to competing against my competition, no one else within the area can say they are the official person for the Small Business Development Center, which is a quasi-governmental entity. And so when it comes down to it, that's part of my USP. But it's not my market dominating position because it's not going to make somebody necessarily choose me over somebody else. There's many other great players out there that are doing what I am doing. But having as a USP that significant barrier, right? I've been in business 15 years. I'm a partner with the SBDC. That's something that other people can't necessarily get to. Unless you're 16 years and you're partners with the SBA, which is, on top, you're not going to beat me. So now try and get that. The market dominating position, though, is for me as a coach, I look at businesses from a holistic perspective and I say, I'm going to help you grow, but I'm not just going to give you the tips. I'm going to make sure that you can stay in business because you need to have funding. You need to have the strategy. You need to have the operations. You need to have the financial management to make sure that as you grow from a $250,000 business to a $500,000 business to $1 million business, you can sustain that growth. A lot of other coaches give you one area. They don't focus on the entire package. And I use my years of experience to help them really manage that process. That's my market dominating position.
I go to you, we sit down, we have a nice cup of tea to help your voice, and
Yes.
I say, fine, thank you very much, Jennifer. And then I go out and I meet with 3 other coaches, and I decide in the end that I'm going to go with somebody else. That I think it's a better match, or we're a better fit.
Mm-hmm.
I like their approach better. That's fine. I have a choice. But with the periodontist, I don't have a choice. He's the only game in town.
If you have gum disease,
yes,
you're right. He's
okay.
The only game in town.
So that's what I'm saying. It's not that he has a unique selling proposition. He has a monopoly.
Yes, but if you think about the people that don't have gum disease, right? There's a statistic that 50% of Americans will at some point in their lifetime develop gum disease. What happens to those people that don't have it? They're going to swear they're going to be one of that 50% that will never get gum disease in their lifetime. And so they're going to say, right, he's irrelevant.
Yeah.
So how many people do you think are in the Detroit area that need to use this gum disease specialist, this periodontal disease specialist? There's only maybe a handful of people that need them. He's not converting those people that don't have it. So they're not driving those 100 miles to see him. Obviously, if I have it, you're right, he's got the monopoly. Let's just say that there's a total of 1,000 people within the greater 100 miles of Detroit that have it.
Okay.
Some of them are ignoring it because they're just ignoring it. They don't have the money to see him.
Mm-hmm.
Others are actively treating. Others are saying, I'm going to still go to my regular dentist, and he's going to do whatever he's going to do. And I may not even know about this specialist because I don't know how to even look him up, and my dentist didn't recommend it.
Okay.
So he's got to get over so many hurdles to reach all of those 1,000 people.
So his market, his target market, would be individuals, but probably more importantly, their dentists to get referrals.
Right.
But he's got another problem.
Right.
He has another problem in that there are just so many hours in the day and so many clients he can see.
Right.
So he's in the position where there'll come a point where he'll have to say, I'm sorry, but I can't see you for 2 months. I'm fully booked.
Which is a great problem to have.
Now, once he has that problem, then some dentist is going to get up and say, you know my son, you know my daughter, you are going to dental school. We need to find you a specialty. There is only one periodontist within 100 miles of Detroit. You should join my firm. I'm the DDS, you're the periodontist, and now there's going to be 2.
Right.
And now we've got competition because he's showing a need.
Yes.
Okay, let's move on. Go back to hopefully this will work. Here we go. Slide 3, which I believe is our final slide.
Yeah. So Key number 3 for getting off to a fast start and growing your business are joint ventures and referral partnerships. Any business can create a joint venture partnership to gain more value and leads. The key point to consider is who else is my ideal customer speaking or working with already. What
Now,
I mean by
did I inadvertently just give an example of the father, who's the dentist, partnering with the child who's going to be a periodontist because we just said he's going to be a periodontist?
In theory, yes, in the sense that they're both going to be cross-referring clients. But if you think about it from the perspective of, let's take my florist client, right? Florists deal with 2 primary markets. I'm going to choose the happier one, weddings. Now, this florist had the opportunity to figure out, how am I going to really scale my business and scale it in a rapid manner? So what did they do? We connected this florist with a jeweler, right? In the bridal market, who is the first place somebody, the groom-to-be, is going to go when he's ready to propose? He's going to go get the ring from the jeweler. And he may get flowers to give to his bride-to-be as he's proposing. So now you have that match. And it's a small one, but they can both cross-refer. But you know what? We did a step further. We said, let's look at the entire channel. You have the jeweler, you have the florist, you have the DJ, you have the hall, you have the caterer, you have the photographer, you have the officiant, you have the limo, you have the hotel after the event. You have all of these players involved in the bridal market that you can now come up with a joint venture that goes all the way back and forth. And what you do is, to make it super easy, you give a piece of paper to the groom-to-be and you say, here's our recommended list of vendors. When you go in, all of these vendors already know that you're working with so-and-so, 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 because you say, I already got this taken care of. And they're all cross-promoting each other because they all stand to gain. So the idea is, if you take that florist client and you bring it out to any business, right? As an accounting firm, work with an attorney, work with a bank, work with those other places that are going to connect you, because everybody needs an accountant. Everybody needs a bank. A lot of businesses need attorneys when they're starting their business. A lot of businesses need to be looking at chambers of commerce because it's a great way to network. And I'm just going to do a shameless plug. I'm the vice president of the TNEC Chamber. And chambers are incredible ways to grow your business, to help you get more visibility and things along those lines. So partnering with a chamber is an excellent opportunity when you're in business to see how you can keep growing. And it comes down to those ways that you can look, who else are my ideal clients already speaking with and working with? If I know how they're doing it, now all of a sudden, I can turn around and I can say, let me go here, let me go here, let me go here. I don't even have to give money. Like I said when we started, there are tips and strategies you can use that don't even cost you money, that help you grow your leads and your revenues in your business. So many of us that are getting bombarded with those emails, like you mentioned, how can I'm going to grow your leads and give you thousands of leads a month. That's great. But you can do it on your own without a lot of expense. It just comes down to developing relationships. A lot of us go to networking events. Networking events, the biggest thing is what happens? People come over to you and they say, here's my card, call me, we'll do lunch. I was just at a program last week. How many people came over to me and just gave me their card? They didn't ask me what I did. They didn't ask me what I needed. They didn't ask me anything. It's relationships. When you've got those relationships, then it becomes something, it's a two-way street, right? I know you're huge on LinkedIn. I see your stuff all the time. It's great that you're out there. You're always offering value, Bruce. You're an incredible source of information, an incredible resource for businesses, because people love having people they know, like, and trust, right? When you're going and you're finding people that are on your program and you're seeing, hey, this person can add even more value to my network. This person can bring more value and fill a need that my people may need. You're not necessarily getting any direct value out of that. You're doing it as a service for your entire network. That's relationships. That is what it comes down to. And so when you're looking at, everything in those companies that are going to give you leads, what are they giving you? When you have those JVs, those are relationships. You have partners that are in your business that are not directly with you. Those are relationships. And that's what is going to continue growing. There's that reciprocal value that everybody is gaining. And that's what, is important here.
I was going to mention regarding the florist and the list for the groom-to-be and the bride-to-be, that at the top of the list should be the lawyer who's going to do the prenup, but I'm not going to do that because you were nice. You were very complimentary. I won't attack you, but I will ask you one question. You just said JVs. What are JVs?
Joint ventures.
Oh, okay. Makes sense.
By the way, can I give a really quick extra tip?
Sure.
For that florist who's looking to grow their business even more, what do? They offer an upsell. An upsell is an additional offering that they have. What do? They turn around and they ask the groom-to-be, would you like to join our Forever program? What does that mean? Anniversaries, birthdays, Valentine's Day, Mother's Day possibly, important dates. The groom signs a form saying, yes, I want to join your Forever program. Every one of those dates, flowers get sent to his bride, and he looks like a hero even if he forgets.
There's
always opportunity to keep growing. It's not a one and done. The wedding is only once. It's that upsell that will continue helping. And again, that's not going to cost more money to the business owner as they're offering that program.
Jennifer, I want to thank you. I now want to share with our viewers your contact information. I thank you profusely for coming on. You provided a wealth of information, all of which is actionable, and I couldn't have asked for a better guest, so I thank you.
Thank you so much for having me.
I'm Bruce Hurwitz. Thank you for watching, and as always, please keep focused on success.